Hello everybody, welcome back to the IrishFuryan. So I'm going to open this video by saying men and women are not equal. Okay, I'll say that again. Men and women are not equal. Black and white people, Africans and Europeans are not equal. They're not equal. What's your first reaction when I say that? What's your first emotional reaction? What's the first reaction you have when I say men and women aren't equal? Africans and Europeans, they're not equal. Chinese and Africans are not equal. What's your first emotional reaction when you hear that? What's the first thing that jumps up inside you? Oh, I'm offended. Is it? Well, let me just tell you that equality doesn't exist in nature. It just doesn't exist. We're not all equal. Put it like this to you. Usain Bolt, I think, was regarded as the fastest man on earth at one stage. I'm not equal to him. He's faster than me in speed, you know, in simple running, just the act of running. We're not equal. Brad Pitt is a better looking man than me. He's always going to get women before me. We're not equal. You see what I'm doing? Okay, so what else? You know, men physically have 40% stronger upper bodies. They have more muscle in their upper bodies by, on average, 40%. So that means they're not equal to women. Women are not equal physically to men. Okay? Women can give birth to babies, you know? Men can't. There's no equality there. There's no equality in the ability to take in cells from another human being and produce a new human being from that. We can't do that as men. That's not equal. So you see, equality is not a thing that exists within nature. I'm not equal to an eagle. An eagle can fly and soar high in the sky, and I can't. There's no equality there. It's not equal. It's not the same. Understand? So why I'm bringing this up is that it's very easy to accept a norm which is the accepted narrative currently, but wasn't always there. In past times, the differences between things was naturally accepted. Now, because of cultural Marxism, which is Marxism gone through the race and gender, equality has to be seen to be everywhere. And so why I'm bringing this up is I want to talk about the three main precepts of cultural Marxism, which is inclusivity, equity, and diversity. So those three dynamics are what I perceive to be the basic precepts of cultural Marxism. And I've talked about cultural Marxism in the past, but we can talk about it again at length in the future, in future videos. But for this one, I just want to talk about, we'll say, those three things and how they can lead to the destruction of an entire society and ethnic homogeneity of a people. As everybody knows, this is what the message I'm trying to get across to people at the moment. This is an ideology and a doctrine that goes through many different facets of culture. One of them is feminism. Feminism is Marxism that solely, not solely, but strongly hones in on the feminine rights, female rights, and female equality. So you see, feminism is not about femininity. Feminism is about equal rights, and it's it tries, so, well, it's done a lot, it's got a lot of different issues in it, but, and a lot of different strains, and in recent times. It's morphed and changed in many different ways, but, and I don't want to go into talking about feminism because it's taken away from what I want to talk about. Equity is seeking equality, equality of outcome and not equality of opportunity. So basically it seeks to find an equality in the outcome, the end result, which sounds all very fair, but it's not really, because you have to force the end result. Somebody somewhere has to suffer in order for that end result to come about. So that's not exactly fairness. Do you understand? So inclusivity is everywhere, and it also ties in with equity and even diversity. So like all these ideas are interchangeable and interlinked. So if you think in terms of, I'll give an example. I think it's Aer Lingus. It's Aer Lingus or Ryanair, but I think it's Aer Lingus. I was talking to a pilot who works for Aer Lingus, and he was telling me that every 10th pilot that gets selected from test results is a female, is a woman. And they do this intentionally because of inclusivity. And again, that sounds very fair at first glance when you see it. Okay, yeah, 1 in 10 women should be chosen, just to give the ranks of airline pilots a fair gender stab at it, you know? But when you consider that the 10th person might again still be a male who did well in the results. So you have the first person being male, got the best results, and all the way down along the line, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and the 10th person then who finished their studies, went through all their studies, and did well enough, was competent enough to actually get 10th place in the results, was discarded, and a woman put in his place. So all the work that person did, regardless of being male or female, was discarded for gender equality, equity, equality of outcome. You see? So somebody somewhere has to suffer. This has always been Marxism. This has always been the end result of trying to make everything equal. You hammer down the tallest nail, you see? So there's no excelling. There's no the person who is exceptionally good isn't allowed to shine. That's the extreme end result of Marxism and communism when it was enacted. So cultural Marxism, these are the kind of things that are happening. You have competence in society becomes dismantled as the actual choosing force, and in fact then it becomes about cultural Marxism, which is equity, inclusivity and diversity. Did I have anything else to talk about with, say, let's say, yeah, so inclusivity. People, like if you have a relationship with somebody, like human beings are now mostly monogamous, you know, they fall in love, or they choose one person to give all their attention and life to. And so that relationship is exclusive. It's not inclusive. Well, it's inclusive to one person, but it's exclusive to everybody else. So you understand that the words inclusive and exclusive are by default, they're neither with or without a positive or negative feeling or slant or taint, you know? They are neutral. Basically, you are inclusive because you choose to be with people like who you are, you know? And you are exclusive. You choose not to be with people who, you know, you don't want to be with, who are not like you, who don't share your beliefs, who aren't from your background, who aren't from your cultural background or history. So you choose to be with people that make it easy for you to have a sense of belonging with, you know? Now, there's always exceptions, of course there are, you know, across the board there are. You know, sometimes I find myself like, I get on very well with Polish men, more than that, even sometimes, you know, even more so than I do with Irishmen, simply because they have a strong masculinity and they have a strong sense of nationalism. And so I gravitate towards that, and I respect that, and they respect my fight for my own nationalism and my own ethnicity, you know, in my own country. And like, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be respected. You understand? So, yeah, relationships are exclusive by their very nature. So inclusion taken to its extremes destroys meaning. So we say, like, again, I talked in a previous video about, we say how these days it's the new Irish and anybody can be Irish, and all you have to do is set foot in Ireland and you're Irish. That is, again, the inclusivity taken to its extreme. So, like, it's like if I go, this is a pen, okay? That is the label we've all agreed upon. But now if I say, this is also a cup, and then I also say, this is also a car, all right? It begins to lose its meaning, you know, because I'm being inclusive of other labels and descriptions. Now it loses its meaning, you see? It's the same thing with Irish identity. When it expands so much that it includes all these other ethnicities and all these other races, then it loses its definition. It no longer is defined as a thing. So it's so inclusive, it loses its original definition. You understand? It now is defined by every ethnicity that wants to be Irish can be Irish. And it's like, reality is no longer reality. Okay, so that is how inclusivity destroys definition of identity. Okay, so all definitions, cup meaning, yeah. So then we talk about, we say diversity. Diversity is, think about it, like if Ireland takes in Africans to the point whereby they become the demographic majority, or if Irish people breed with Africans or Chinese or Pakistanis or Brazilians, then the Irish ethnicity, which is of a Nordic strain, which is of light skin and oftentimes blonde hair, blue eyes, freckles, red hair, whatever, and that gets spread out. And then the Irish end up looking like the rest of the world. They end up looking like Africans, they end up looking like Pakistanis, they end up looking like Indians, they end up looking like Brazilians. That's not really diversity. That's actually the opposite of diversity. Real diversity is when it's respected that there is an ethnicity that is different, beautiful, and just like other ethnicities are beautiful, but beautiful and unique and allowed to be, you know? That blonde hair is allowed to be. Not to actually flood a country with all the countries of the rest of the world, which already have those features and those ethnic strains. Do you understand? It's not diversity. This is not diversity. Even ethnic diversity, it's the complete opposite. So if you breed out the Irish people who are traditionally thought of as red-haired, blonde, fair-skinned, all the rest of it, and they end up looking like the rest of the world, that's no longer diverse. Diversity is gone. There is no diversity in that. So that's again how diversity destroys a culture, a race, an ethnicity. So cultural Marxism is actually destroying destroying our, what would you say, uniqueness, you know? So inclusivity, equity, and diversity, taken to their extremes. Those cultural Marxist precepts are what have taken over from where before religion, Christianity, Catholicism in this country gave us our moral code and our moral rules. Now it's been replaced with cultural Marxism. And cultural Marxism is being pushed by political rhetoric and the media constantly. And anybody who says different is ousted, pushed to the side. They find something which is a no-no, and then they socially shame that person in the media, and that person gets taken out of the public eye. And then only the narrative which is created in favor of cultural Marxism, equity, inclusivity, diversity, gets put forward. So, you know, I hope that was of some interest to you and gave you some food for thought. And if you have a favorite dog, you know, like a Dalmatian or a poodle or a sausage dog? Would you like to see it bred out? German Shepherd?